Right, 23 September 2023, and today I've got a quick update on a leaked audio by Nelson Chamisa, and this was an address that he made earlier this week. Nelson Chamisa has been going around the country and he's been addressing his party structures after the elections, and this has been happening over the past few days. I can see over the past few 10 or so days. And Chamisa has not been publicizing his addresses. So he's been speaking directly to the people in the leadership structures of the CCC. However, there is an audio that is leaked and that is being circulated, especially among Zimbabwe intelligence officials. And this has angered many people in ZANU-PF. It has angered many people in the Zimbabwe military structures and the police structures. It has also angered many people in ZANU-PF. And the specific reason why people are angry with Nelson Chamisa is that they believe that he called for sanctions, and he also refused to recognize President Mnangagwa as president. And he said President Mnangagwa is not going to complete these 5 years as president. So there is a great panic within the Zimbabwe security structures, and they have intensified their efforts against Nelson Chamisa. And I'm sure that today or tomorrow, you're going to hear a lot more about what would have happened. There is a belief that there is something being planned behind the scenes. And no matter how you explain to people that Chamisa is not planning a demonstration, and even Chamisa himself, he has said it many, many times that he does not want people to be killed. He has also said it in this very same audio, which is about 1 hour, that he does not want to get people killed. So he's not going to call for demonstrations now. And I want to play for you a bit of that audio. You can find it on YouTube, and it's very easy. You just search for Nelson Chamisa, Mashonaland East, and you'll be able to see it on a channel called Africa and Beyond. I received it way before, but I'm sure the guys have also received it. So you can listen to it, but let's listen to the portion that I'm interested in. Right, so I'm going to stop the audio. The audio is quite bad. And as I said, many people do not understand what is happening. but I want to continue to unpack what's happening with Nelson Chamisa and the dangerous situation that Zimbabwe is in at the moment. The current situation that we have is very bad because everything has stopped in Zimbabwe. So for something to move in Zimbabwe, someone has to make a first move. What Chamisa is doing is he's going around the country, he's addressing his structures. And ZANU-PF does not understand why he's doing that. So they assume that he's going to go for demonstrations. But I don't think they understand the strategy from Nelson Chamisa. Chamisa is not interested in demonstrations. So let's unpack where Chamisa is right now in his mind. Looking at this audio, which is 1 hour and so forth, maybe 1 hour and 10 minutes. You can go and have a look. But the summary is this. Chamisa believes that Mnangagwa rigged the election. And he believes that Mnangagwa will not be able to make the country function. So that's President Mnangagwa. Sorry, I tend to forget to say president sometimes. So Chamisa said the CCC did not sign the results of the election. So they do not consider those elections to be valid. And he then went on to say President Mnangagwa won't complete these 5 years because of Sunga 1, Sunga doesn't. So I don't know if that was the context he used the word Sunga 1, Sunga doesn't. But ZANU-PF and security structures, they are incensed by that comment. The guys that I have spoken to are very, very concerned and very, very angry about the Sunga 1, Sunga doesn't. They believe that Chamisa is saying he's going to call for more sanctions on Zimbabwe. Also, Chamisa said in the same audio that the elections have not been recognized by AU, SADC, and all the other institutions. So the elections are not valid. The results are not valid. He then went on to say he can go as far as the UN to talk about these elections, to say that these elections are not valid, are not free and fair, and nothing happened in Zimbabwe. A rerun needs to be done. And he then said that there needs to be a national transitional authority or a transitional arrangement before the next election is held. So you can see what is happening. While Chamisa is very clear about what needs to be done, the guys in the security structures are not clear. What Chamisa wants is a transitional arrangement, is a discussion in an arrangement outside of demonstrations. He does not want demonstrations, but the guys in the security structures believe that he wants to cause a demonstration. And I believe that if you're in Zimbabwe now, you'll probably be getting a lot of strange calls, you'll be getting inquiries. People want to know if Chamisa is capable of starting a demonstration right now or of bring about something else. I don't believe that Chamisa is going to go that route. And I think it would be unwise for the CCC to undertake demonstrations. And I promise to tell you who is behind the demonstrations. You've heard people talking about shutting down the border and demonstrating here in South Africa. Those people are not Chamisa's people. Those are probably Kasukuwere-related people or people within the system, sort of like a project. That is my belief, that Chamisa would not do such a stupid thing as to shut down a border. What will that help to shut down the border? Chamisa has got a clear mandate from the people. He's got multiple votes from ZANU-PF members. I showed you how this happened. People from ZANU-PF voted for Chamisa. For him to get the numbers that he got, it means ZANU-PF members voted for Chamisa so that he can close the gap between President Mnangagwa and his own MPs. So it's clear that Chamisa has got the right idea. What I'm quite concerned about is his choice of words. And I want to unpack the Sunga 1, Sunga doesn't. It's a very, very dangerous statement. And please just hold on for a second. Let me just fix my lighting here. Just 1 second. Right. So as I was saying, Sunga one, Sunga doesn't is a problem. Chamisa needs to move away from Sunga one, Sunga doesn't. He needs to stop using that statement. It can cause a lot of problems for him and the people around him. ZANU-PF guys, they don't like sanctions. I want to advise guys in CCC. ZANU-PF guys, if you want to drive them crazy, call for sanctions or discuss that you're going to call for sanctions. That is one thing that they don't want. They do not want to hear about sanctions. Any idea of a discussion with ZANU-PF or a transitional authority or anything else, it will suddenly stop if you talk about Sunga one, Sunga doesn't. If you talk about calling for sanctions, and if you talk about not recognizing President Mnangagwa, that is almost a game changer or a deal killer. I have sat down with many people over the past few weeks, trying to understand what can be done. And it's clear that everyone knows that there needs to be negotiation. But people want Chamisa to notch down a bit and come to the level where negotiations can take place. And that would take a bit of work from Chamisa's side. So I think let's wrap up with my thinking of what will happen next. Both President Mnangagwa and Nelson Chamisa, they have exhausted themselves. None of the two men can move out without the other. Chamisa can't move without President Mnangagwa. President Mnangagwa can't move without Chamisa. Nothing will move in Zimbabwe until those two sit down across the table and talk. But their talking is just the beginning. There is a lot of work to be done in Zimbabwe. And I agree that Chamisa is doing a great job here by going around the country and talking to his people. This is being recorded, obviously. I don't think Chamisa wanted this to come out as a recording. When I received this recording a few days ago, it was not something that they publicized as CCC. So my belief is probably they need to change their communication strategy. They need to assure ZANU-PF that they're not trying to start a demonstration. That's not their direction. And I don't think CCC should be going after a demonstration. That is the most useless thing to do. It will just get the country and everyone worked out. But negotiations, they are certainly required. They're certainly necessary. You are going to see ZANU-PF and CCC talking. And this is going to happen. And this is going to happen very soon. President Mnangagwa knows it. Nothing will move in that country until they sit down with Chamisa and talk to him. And Chamisa knows it. If he continues being an opposition member without a party in government, he's going to be opposition forever. So both of them need each other. And Sunga one, Sunga doesn't, is exciting the security structures in Zimbabwe. Right now, they are jittery. Everyone is jittery and not sure what is going to happen. They don't like the Sunga one, Sunga doesn't, and they believe that a demonstration will come up. But I don't think that is where Chamisa is going. So it's a weekend here. I've been traveling. So let's wrap up with the comments. And then tomorrow I will try to get hold of Dr. Fedes Mteneri. We want to unpack President Mnangagwa's statement or speech at the United Nations. I think President Mnangagwa, myself, personally, I think is out of touch with what's happening on the ground. That speech, to me, it's one of the speeches that I think we need to digest. What is happening with President Mnangagwa? When he comes back from the United Nations, what does he think needs to happen? Because I think the leadership needs to come from President Mnangagwa. He needs to move first. It can't be Chamisa who moves first. President Mnangagwa is the one who is in the office right now. He needs things to move. So he needs to make the first move. Right, let's go to Obe. Obe say, Gambako tell people they should not expect action from Chamisa yet. They're just typing. He's doing his part and should also. Now, Obe, I want to tell you something. What you're saying is correct. Chamisa is a very powerful leader. He's got a lot of followers. The problem with the Chamisa followers, they do not want to invest anything in the relationship. They want to sing and clap for Chamisa, but they don't want to invest in Chamisa. So in a few weeks' time, we're going to ask people who are in Chamisa's party, CCCC. We're going to put out a survey, and I want to show you what is going to happen when we put out the survey. Nobody in CCC right now has even understood what is happening. Yesterday, Ostalos made a video on the CCC channel. It's got less than 10,000 views. 10,000 views, that's all. Of 5 million supporters of CCC, no one wants to know what is the next move. But Ostalos, he said everything that is going to happen on that video. So my challenge today for the guys who are watching here is go and watch that video where Ostalos is saying. They can't even watch a video. Gambako videos every day, they get 100,000 views on all the platforms. But you can't even listen to your own guy speaking. I don't get it. I guess myself, ZANU-PF guys also watch here. And to me, ZANU-PF and CCC, they're all my brothers. There is no way things are going to work without these two working together. And I believe it, that ZANU-PF wants things to work. I believe that CCC wants things to work. The problem we have is this toxic politics, and that has to end through a negotiation. But that negotiation has to be mediated by insiders. So Chamisa must forget about the Sunga 1, Sunga doesn't. President Mnangagwa must forget about the puppets and everything. People must sit down, make a plan. The biggest problem with President Mnangagwa and his government is that people are not making money. I have said this for the past 3 years. Under President Mnangagwa's government, people are poor. People don't make money. There are no jobs. There's no money in the ATM. The government of President Mnangagwa is not delivering. These are facts. So we need that to be sorted out. On the side of Chamisa, we need him to move from being an opposition leader to become part of the government, to become part of the solution. These are the facts. And all this thing of fighting and demonstrations, that is over. It's not going to work. Everybody wants things to work. Edwin, you want to make me laugh? Sunga 1, Sunga 12. Sunga 1, Sunga doesn't. I think Chamisa needs to move away from Sunga 1, Sunga doesn't. It's exciting, the ZANU-PF guys. But I love Chamisa. I love it when he talks on the stage. He's got this way of emotionally connecting with his audience. But now we need more than emotions. We need Chamisa to be in government. We need him to deliver. We need him to work with the ZANU-PF guys. I know he's afraid of contagion. That if he comes into the ZANU-PF government, he'll be contaminated. But that's not true. One thing I can tell you about Chamisa and the young guys and the energy, it's infectious. Every young person in ZANU-PF wants Chamisa to do well. If Chamisa was to get into government, you'll be surprised with the amount of support that he's going to get. It will be people making things work together. And things are just not working, guys. It's extremely difficult in Zimbabwe. People are suffering. And as I said, the biggest problem with President Mnangagwa's government, people are not making money. President Mnangagwa needs to address this. You cannot have a country where no one is making money. How do you do that? So that is the thing that we need to fix. And Samaita, here's the last comment I'm going to read. We don't want anything related to GNU. Yes, GNU, Chamisa doesn't want GNU. Chamisa wants a transitional authority. That means someone has to lead a separate structure while we move to reforms, while we move to a new government. This needs negotiation. This needs skilled negotiators. President Mnangagwa is not someone that you can just say, step down now, we want to have a transitional authority. That won't happen. So both of these men, they will need to be very clear about what they need. You cannot remove President Mnangagwa and install Chamisa, but you cannot remove President Mnangagwa and install Mandazi. You see, those kind of things, those are the things you want to understand. What is next? And the next thing is negotiation, sitting together across the table. And ZANU-PF stop arresting people, ZANU-PF stop intimidating people, ZANU-PF stop going around talking crazy as if everything is okay. Chamisa, stop talking Sungawan and Sungadazin. You are all brothers. Sit down across the table and let's make this country work. Because right now, nothing is working. And both sides need to take a blame. You cannot say Chamisa is perfect, and you cannot say President Mnangagwa is perfect. But at least Chamisa is better. I think it's not still the elections. Internationally, it is known that the elections were rigged by FAZ and ZANU-PF. Internationally, right now, as you speak, that is what is known. So ZANU-PF is to cure that situation, but Chamisa has to jump into the government. There is no way that we can have the situation that is there. It's terrible for everybody. People are struggling, and we don't want that to continue. And as I said, within a few weeks' time, there will obviously be new developments. Juliet, do not insult me. You and your Garo are men. Garo is nothing to do with me. But one thing I can tell you, all of us are from Masvingo. Chamisa, Gambakwe, who is President Mnangagwa, anyone who is in politics right now, Zimbabwean politics is Masvingo people. We are a problem. We are causing all these problems in our country. You need to check yourself. That is exactly where we are with the situation in Zimbabwe. So, very, very clear, an audio leaked of a meeting between Nelson Chamisa and his top leadership in Mashonaland East. Chamisa has been going around the country over the past few days, and he has said that he does not recognize President Mnangagwa. He did not sign the election results. President Mnangagwa won't finish the 5 years, and he's going to continue with Sungawan, Sungadazin. He has also said that FAZ caused the rigging, and the rigging was through in the towns, voter suppressions, in the rural areas, it was through voter intimidation, and it was also through the voters' roll, where ZANU-PF created and put on their own people. So very, very interesting, very thorough. Nelson Chamisa has done a great job of explaining himself, and Chamisa is not looking for a demonstration. So the guys in security service can relax. There is nothing coming. There's no one who is going to demonstrate. There is no appetite right now for a demonstration. The guys who are talking about demonstrations, they are probably Kasukuwere's guys. And Kasukuwere has got nothing. He's got no future in Zimbabwean politics, at least for now. He's going to have a political future later, after President Mnangagwa. I believe that Kasukuwere is going to play a very, very big part in Zimbabwean politics. But cat and mouse are better than Kasukuwere and President Mnangagwa. Those two cannot be in the same ZANU-PF. So when one of them is gone, the other one will appear. That is how I see this situation. Many people in Southern Africa, they believe that Kasukuwere has got a place in Zimbabwean politics. I've talked to many people in South African politics who believe that Kasukuwere is powerful. In Zambia, they believe that Kasukuwere is powerful, but he's not. When I talk to them, I'm surprised at the depth and the pedestal that they put him. They really think Kasukuwere is big. Some of them even thought Kasukuwere was more powerful than Chamisa. I had to explain to them that in Zimbabwe, there is no politician who can even come close to Nelson Chamisa in terms of popularity. That is a fact. Chamisa by himself is miles ahead of everybody in terms of popularity. But as Job Scala said, popularity is not enough. What we need is Chamisa to get in government. We need Chamisa to start solving problems. We need Chamisa to stop what he's saying, that he won't change, he won't create structures. He needs to change that because it won't work. You cannot have a government with no structures. And Chamisa, in his speech, he said that he will not create structures. And I could not believe it. He needs to be in government, but he can't be there by himself. And I'm sure if one day I was to have a face-to-face with Nelson Chamisa, I'll probably be able to take him through a roadmap of how to succeed. Like various countries that have succeeded, there are countries with young leaders like Nelson Chamisa that have done so well. Do not believe that the guys in ZANU-PF can succeed the way that Chamisa can succeed. He's got a great potential, and I've said it. He's standing on the verge of being greater than Mbuyane. When in future, you will look back and say, that is the man that converted our country. But right now, guys, we need to stop all the fighting. We need to stop all the pride, and everyone needs to stop to sit together around the table and talk without any foreigners. So make that a condition, no foreigners. If all the Zimbabweans work together and they tell President Mnangagwa that we want to make money, no one is making money under the Mnangagwa government. That must stop. And then once we say we agree that we won't affect our currency, won't affect our economy with our politics, then you'll see Zimbabwe will start moving again. Right, that was it. That was very, very interesting audio from Nelson Chamisa. You can go and check it out on YouTube, where Chamisa is currently talking to his leadership structures about the outcome of the elections. It's a feedback kind of things going across all the 10 provinces of Zimbabwe, and it has scared or it has angered military intelligence, because they think that he's trying to organize or wake up a demonstration, which I think is far from what Chamisa wants to do. That would be a senseless thing. There's nothing to come out of a demonstration. Chamisa is very strong with the support that he's getting from SADC, AU, all these organizations that have said the election is not free and fair. And if he just stands there and does nothing, eventually things will work out. But he still has to negotiate with President Mnangagwa. Right, I really enjoy talking to you all, and let's continue talking. It's a holiday here on Monday, so I will slightly change my schedule because I need to travel. I need to enjoy Cape Town. I've been going all over the place. This is a new place to me. Today I was at West Coast Wildlife Park, which is about 100 km from Cape Town. I'm going all over the place. It's new to me. I've not lived in Cape Town. I've lived in Johannesburg for 16 years. I lived in Durban for 2 years. And now I hope that I'll be living here in Cape Town for the next 10 to 20 years as my base and my office in Zambia. And obviously, we'll be having another office in Harare. So very, very soon, I'm going to come to you guys. We need to improve our offices. We need to improve our equipment. So we need to at least talk about this. We've been trying to raise funding and it's not been working. No one wants to support media in Zimbabwe. It seems like everyone wants to hear us talking, but they don't want to understand how we pay all these bills, how we pay all the people. But that is it, and that is a topic for another day. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and good night.
Kuno aho bano mamuona kere nai ano vura meso ano vura nzebe ano kaya marigi kama kwetu tikomo Wengere como usasaire Kamba kwe uyo anotara mari anogaya mari garai mamunzo paninya pano paninya